we can look at our list. And the first thing I want us to do is to look at how to create our list. Now, to create a list, we literally just have to create a list. Now, this is the syntax for creating a list in Python. So this is a list, right? Now, I'm leaving it like this because I want you to see it as a rectangle. You see, if you flip it the right way, you can have like a literal list on paper coming vertically, but it's going to be a horizontal list, right? Yes. So let's lose some fruits. I've seen this talk with fruits. Fruits make it a whole lot simple, right? So let's say we have some apple, we have some guava, and then some banana. Everybody likes banana, right? So banana. We'd like to store this in a variable called fruits. Now that's how to create a list in Python. Of course, it's a very simple example, but now that we have created it, let's look at how to modify the list. Now, similar to what we just did in the strings, right? If you have not checked out that one, check it out. So in the strings where we had a word like apple, right? And I was saying that this is position 0, this position 1, this position 2, blah, 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 like that, like what I was saying. Now, in terms of a list, it's a grand form of that. So apple, now the whole of apple becomes 1. So if you want to map, that can be like character A, that will map to this A over here. So A is apple. Now our guava will be just our first P, and our banana can be our second P. Yes, that's how modifying of list is going to work in Python. Now, to actually do that, again, similar to how we access for like a single string, we can just see fruits at position 1. Yes, now I want you to take a moment and predict which item we are accessing. Yes, I knew you were smart enough. Now that's the guava, because again, Python's in programming, we start indexing as 0, right? Mostly. I'm yet to see a language that doesn't buy here. So this is 0 and this is 1. So apple and guava. So we access the guava like that. Now we want to just set it to cherry, right? Okay. So when we write this, we want to take our fruit and then set it to cherry. Good. So in order to confirm that, we're going to print our fruits. I'm going to print the whole fruit list and then we'll see that in action, right? So let's go. Good. Now you can see, as opposed to our guava, we now have cherry over here. Yes, so now that's how to modify your list in Python. Now again, similar to what we just did for our strings, we have indexing, slicing. For that, I'm going to create a set of numbers. Now these are just going to be multiples of 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Like this. Now, again, want to store this in a variable. Let's call it numbers for simplicity. I mean, they are numbers. So, yes. And let's look first at indexing. Now, again, indexing is actually the way that we got to edit our fruits. At the top, when we said fruit at 1, that's indexing. So we used indexing to set our variable to something new. So if I say indexing as 0, again, try to predict what will happen in your mind. This is supposed to give us a value of 10 because 10 is the first in our numbers list. Okay, so that was pretty simple. Now let me also print. Again, I taught you how to access the last character, right? Now let's try this again. So let's see numbers at -1. I'm going to 1, and that's 50. Yes. So now I need you to get to a point where when you are coding like last character -1, that's negative, like, yes, that's our deal, that's our personal deal. Let's uphold it. Now look at slicing. Again, just like our strings, but we are thinking in larger terms, right? So when we say numbers, now when we say 1 and we say 4, I hope you remember what that means. It means we are starting from our position 1 to our position 3. Again, the last character is not, the last position is not to be included. You understand? So off the top of my head, this is going to print out 20, 30, and then 40. Because again, this position 0, this position 1, 2, 3, and if 4 is not part, you just need 1, 2, 3. Very simple. And yes, that's what I actually. So now we can print this. Yes, now don't worry that it looks like I missed this. Like on a normal day, this is how it should be. You write what you want and then you print it. Yes, so that's 20, 30, and then 40. Now in slicing, we know of the step, right? So stepping. Again, if I say numbers like this, now we need a first value, second value, and then a third value. Yes, now I don't know if you remember. You understand? So if we leave this blank, right, it's just the default behavior. Now this means we should start at the first character, like that's how I'm going to put it, and we should end at still the last character, but we should step by two. We should step by two. Yes, now I hope you remember what the step does. So again, let's visualize it over here. If I start here, but I'm moving a step of two, right? So this will be 10. Now instead of me coming here, this is one step. I'll move two steps, making 30. So our next time will be 30, and then I'll move another two steps, making 50. I think that's simple enough. We just explained it previously. So, and for confirmation, let me just print before you go and say that I'm lying to you. So let's print this. So print. Good. Yeah, so those are just some ways that we can play around with our list. Now, play around, I mean manipulation. I think that's more, yes. So that's how we can manipulate